1969 Ford Mustang Mach 1. Has the original 351 Windsor, and then it's backed by a Tremec 5-speed manual transmission. This Mach 1 does have a full aftermarket front cradle with aftermarket upper and lower control arms. It does have power disc brakes in the front, has a slotted rotor in the front so it stops really well. It also has aftermarket AC, which blows nice and cold. And this thing just drives awesome. It's a really good driving car. Obviously, with the aftermarket front suspension and the front cradle, you get a little bit of a stiffer ride. But it drives really nice and straight, and it's a fun car to cruise. You hop on the highway with the 5-speed. It's just a really nice driving Mach 1. The underneath is extremely clean. The floors, the frame rails, the bottom side of this Mach 1 is just excellent. Found no rust issues whatsoever. And then on your interior, it does have carpet and visors that have been replaced. The visor on this side is a little bit of a different material. I don't know why. When they replaced it, I guess they just did a different material on that visor. But the carpet's nice. The seat covers in the front and in the rear are also very nice. This is optioned with the fold-down rear seat. So the rear seat does go up and down like it should. It has the lock, so when you put the back seat up, it does click into place and doesn't flop around. I've actually had that be a common issue on some of those. Dash is really clean. Gauges are really nice and easy to see. All of your gauges are working. You have your factory speedometer, your fuel gauge temperature, and then oil pressure, and all that stuff's reading good. It's warmed up, so we'll kind of get on it here a little bit. Well, it's not a crazy horsepower Windsor. It's got plenty of power to do what you want to do if you're just cruising down the highway. If you need to downshift and pass someone, it's got plenty of power for that. But it's more of just a good cruising car. As far as the cosmetics go, this was originally a white Mach 1 with red interior, so both the interior and the exterior colors have been changed at some point. The respray is definitely older on this car. It does have some hazy spots, particularly on the top flat parts of the car, like the tops of the fenders, and then the top of the roof, and then parts of the deck lid. It does have some kind of, they almost look like thin spots in the paint or little hazy spots. 5-7 foot away, you don't see it, but when you get right up on top of the car, you can kind of see those splotchy, hazy spots in the paint. Still shows well, but again, when you get close, you can definitely nitpick some of the cosmetics on it. Wheels and tires are in nice shape. The bumpers and the trim, all that stuff also looks pretty good on this car. I just like the mechanicals, that front suspension setup. It just makes this car drive a lot stiffer. It drives almost more like a newer car. Sometimes these old cars, they tend to just float around a little bit. And this one, you let off the steering wheel and it goes really nice and straight. It just has a tighter road feel to it. Exhaust sounds good. It's not too loud. When you get in the throttle, you can definitely hear it, but it's not too loud at all. You can definitely have a conversation with the person sitting next to you. It does have an aftermarket Sony stereo you can hook your phone up to. Take it down our bumpy road here, check out the suspension. All of your glass is nice. A really cool upgrade that this car has. You would never know it by looking at it, but if you push down on the window cranks, they're actually power windows, and if you push up on it, power windows go up. So they kept the crank to make it look factory, but you just got to push up and down on it, and your power windows work on both sides. The windshield is really clean and easy to see out of, and then the back glass is nice. You also have the rear louvers on the exterior, which just give it that awesome Mach 1 look. So you have the Mach 1 hood scoop, the louvers, and then the rear wing. It's just hard to beat that look on one of these. Suspension feels great again. All that stuff in the front's been replaced, and it just drives really nice and straight and has a good feel to it. As far as drivability on these goes, if you have a manual transmission older car, swapping one to a 5-speed, if you plan on driving them, is just so much more user-friendly. Like my personal Torino has a TKX 5-speed in it, and it just makes it so much more fun to drive. You can hop out on the highway without worrying about wrapping out at 60 miles an hour. Get off that gravel a little bit there. Another really cool feature that this Mach 1 has, it has the overhead console with the map lights in it, which work. The interior of this car actually has upgraded map lights, and interior lights are actually blue. That's kind of a personal preference thing. I would have left them the factory like yellow or white color, but the previous owner wanted to match the exterior, so it does have some blue interior lights. Again, if someone doesn't like that, that's really easy to change out. But the overhead console is a really cool addition. Overall feel, excellent Mach 1. Mechanically, it's spot on. Motor's tight. Transmission shifts up and down through the gears well. It drives awesome. The aftermarket AC blows cold. If you're going to nitpick anything, just again, on the paint, it's a little bit older on the cosmetics when it comes to the exterior. Still shows well, but just the paint, again, is a little bit older. And it is a super solid car, so you're not fighting rust battles, which to me is the most important thing. As always, I appreciate y'all stopping in to watch another one of my test drive videos. If there's ever anything else that you want to see, have comments, concerns, questions, don't hesitate to leave a comment on the YouTube channel. You can call or text me directly at 903-820-1019. Check us out at pcclassiccars.com, or you can check us out on all of our social platforms. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and we will see you guys on the next test drive video. Thanks again for stopping in.